Over the years, I've seen a lot of people get really concerned about the power consumption of 3D printers. I've even had people tell me that they would love to get into 3D printing, but they just can't afford the extra costs to their power bill. And look, I get it. Things don't just pay for themselves, and these printers can be on for hours or days at a time finalizing a print. But how bad can it really be? If you've been watching the channel for a while, you might have known that I really love tech. So I'm in an interesting position where we can answer that exact question. Almost everything I own is plugged into one of these. And while it might look pretty basic, it's honestly one of my favorite things. Not only can this be used to remotely turn devices on and off, but it has a little trick up its sleeve. You see, we can remotely monitor the power consumption of anything that is plugged into it. And since I already have my entire print rack plugged into these, all we have to do is run a set of exactly identical prints so we can get a sample size to base our measurements off of. Even though this is such a simple device, this has easily been one of the best additions for me when it comes to 3D printing. The ability to remotely turn devices on and off is just something I can't live without. I'll make sure to have this along with a few other options in the description in case you're interested. Since I have to print all this anyways for another video, we could take advantage of the historical data in my smart dashboard to show us exactly what kind of numbers we're working with. But before we get into our readings, let's take a second to check out the sponsor of today's video, PCBWay. If you have an idea or a project that you're working on and you need a little help with manufacturing, make sure to check out today's sponsor, PCBWay. Not only do they offer high-quality custom PCB manufacturing, but they also offer CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, and even 3D printing. If you're at home and you're working on your own project and you just want something a little bit stronger than your average materials, you can even do your own test prints at home, and then once you're happy with it, send those files off to PCBWay to have it printed out of things like aluminum and stainless steel. When it comes to 3D printing, PCBWay offers a wide range of industrial-grade services available to anybody working on their next project. So do yourself a favor and check out PCBWay at PCBWay.com. During this video, keep in mind that all of my calculations are based off my utility rate, which is 13 cents per kilowatt hour. These rates may change depending on your location and region. Each of these prints being identical, printed for about 2 hours apiece. And printing 6 of them gives us 12 hours of data to work with. And from a sample size of 6, we could tell that all our graphs look nearly identical. So we could simplify the process and just use one graph to show the data that we're looking at. With only one device plugged into our smart plug, we could see that the Adventurer 5M Pro from Flashforge sits around 16.7 watts at idle, which isn't really surprising as the printer's not realistically doing anything. To put this into perspective for you, at idle, this 3D printer is using less power than the average smartphone uses while charging. Where we see the biggest hit to our power consumption is during the starting phase of 3D printing. This is where the printer is heating up both the nozzle and the bed of the printer, with our highest peak only reaching 288 watts. Now, again, to put this into perspective, this would be the equivalent of turning on a modern computer for 5 minutes and then turning it off. Looking at this graph, we can see that after the initial startup phase, mostly our graph just kind of evens out. Now, we'll see spikes here and there, but that's from the PWM and the PID system doing its job, keeping that nozzle in that bed at a constant temperature. You see, those devices aren't applying a constant state of voltage. Rather, what these controllers are doing is they're pulsating the voltage to make sure that we maintain an even temperature for both our nozzle and our bed. During the printing phase of our chart, we experienced highs maxing out at 116 watts with lows around 83, with our overall average sitting around 100 watts. This would be less than if you had an Xbox or a PlayStation 5 hooked in to a 55-inch TV. But charts and numbers and all that aside is really boring, and honestly, nobody really cares about that. But instead, what did it cost? And that's it. For 2 hours of print time, we have 2 cents. So a cent per hour? All these tests were done using PLA at 220 degrees Celsius with a bed right around 50. And honestly, if you change materials or change your temperatures, it may change, but not really that much. So let's do some quick GPT math and see how much does this actually cost us if we run this print for 24 hours? The answer is 32 cents. And it's all well and good, but now your mom's mad because the last 7 days, your printer has been running nonstop working on a massive Warhammer terrain piece for your next meetup. But at $2.24, you could tell your mom, don't worry, the prints cost less than my subsidized school milk. But we don't see the full picture until we take it out a little bit further. You see, at this point, I don't have enough change to show you exactly what it would cost to run this printer for the next 30 days. The cost being around $9.59. Obviously, the average watts that you'll be using during printing is going to fluctuate with different 3D printers. But one thing that could be really misleading about this technology is the fact that most people don't understand that 3D printers are really efficient. These printers are so efficient that you could run 8 to 10 on a single 15 amp breaker. And you can't even heat up your Hot Pockets in the microwave while your mom's in the bathroom doing her hair. But I don't really know. Maybe you have a wife and not a mom. But the moral of the story is the same. When you look at the numbers, these printers simply don't require that much in cost. Your real problem with 3D printing isn't your power consumption, but rather your filament cost. But don't worry, Nana always sends a $50 Amazon gift card for Christmas. Now keep in mind, there are some caveats to this topic. Where we find these caveats is mostly during the heating process for the bed. You see, certain manufacturers are really pushing for rapid heating, so consumers aren't sitting around and waiting for their 3D printers to warm up. This won't really affect our overall average during the printing phase. But what you will see is a greater spike during the warm-up process. And we've even seen printers now that spike all the way up to 1500 watts just during bed heating. Overall, though, this doesn't affect your consumption because what you're trading out is the length of warming time for just a greater wattage in a shorter time period. Instead of power consumption, the risk that you run with rapidly heating a bed is more about the available amperage for your circuit. If you're running multiple devices and you rapidly heat a bed and it's up to 1500 watts, you risk blowing a breaker more easily. Other than this, the only real differences are found in your printing temperatures. For instance, if you're printing something like ABS or nylon over PLA. Now, the change in temperature during the printing process isn't going to make a huge difference overall for your power consumption. You might see something more like 2 or 3 cents for printing hour as opposed to 1. That's an entirely different topic for a whole different video. But for this video, I'll make sure to have all my data points and everything I've used in the description so you can look it over and double check my GPT math and see exactly what it is for yourself.